lingkod ng tao at ng buong mundo. Ang bawat pamilya at hangin ng simbahan, iyong kinukupok, hindi pinababayaan.
Barangay Bocboc, politically part of the municipality of Don Carlos and ecclesiastically under the San Isidro Labrador Parish of Kadingilan, began its journey of faith long before a chapel stood on its soil. In 1957, settlers from Alubihin, Misamis Oriental, Ilocanos from Luzon, Ilonggos from Panay, and a few Cebuanos made this place their home. The Ilocanos and Ilonggos cultivated the lowlands, while the rest farmed the upland areas with corn, rice, and root crops. Much of Bukidnon, especially Purok Ocho and Mabuhay, remained covered in tall cogon grass, cleared only through the laborious process of kaingin. Transportation was difficult. Residents could only travel as far as Masimag, and their produce had to be transported by cattle to the Lapoy Creek, where merchants waited. Yet, in the midst of hardship, faith was already taking root. In 1958, through the initiative of Inocencio Vergedaso Sr., the Catholic faithful united to build the first chapel. Made of cogon and timber, it stood through the collective efforts of Vivencio Baclayon, Dorotea Buluwag, their families, Senan Caceres, Eutiquio Galarita, and Emperatriz Dala. On September 29, 1958, the first barangay fiesta was celebrated in honor of Saint Michael the Archangel, the chosen patriarch. The very first Holy Mass in the chapel was celebrated by a missionary priest from Immaculate Conception Parish in Kibawe, Bukidnon. This marked the beginning of organized Catholic life in Bocboc. 2 years later, the chapel was transferred from the area of Maximo Silabay to its present location at Purok 5 to Purok 6, covering 4,500 square meters, allocated by the Barangay Council through Barangay Captain Antonio Ortega. The new chapel was constructed through the commitment of chapel officers Tidolo Galarpe Sr., Filomeno Flores Sr., and Maximo Silabay. The regular celebration of the Holy Mass began when the late Reverend Father Alfonso Flores, S.J., a parish priest of San Isidro Labrador Parish in Kadingilan, started monthly masses. His pastoral work was later continued by Reverend Father John G. Krebs and Father Matthew Fulham, S.J. God's blessings flowed through the dedication of countless volunteers. Ahead among them was Pedro Sigumpan, the first alagad, who faithfully led the Kataringbanong Pag-ampo every Sunday. Beside him served devoted workers Porita Monya, Venerando Aton, Hidwega Baclayon, Rossi Bulwag, Ferdisminda Vertudaso, Disam Porados Agbon, Rosario Istoki, Estreles Panghari, and Angeles Santillan. They were supported by the first group of Sisters Catechists, the religious of the Assumption Sisters, who helped in Kristohanong Pagtulungan or KP, Eucharistic celebrations, and catechetical classes in schools. In 1988, Jaime C. Go was installed as alagad, continuing his dedicated service to the community for decades. Additionally, catechists included Nadi Sigumpan Galarpe, Milania D. Go, Simprosa Abrio, Elma Fantilanan, and Veronica Aguilar, which was assisted by Lourdes Dala. In the year 2009, it was observed that the chapel was cramped in size for the worshippers every Sunday and for other activities. As the community grew, so did its needs. Plans for chapel renovation were initiated and supported by Reverend Father Jerry Cagas and later by Reverend Father Diosdado Dodge Tabios. Chapel leaders and the faithful united to raise funds to improve the chapel structure. Project proceeds came from halal balik sa Diyos or tithes, love offerings, donations, caroling, a monthly contribution of 50 pesos per family, raffle ticket proceeds, offerings from house blessings every Holy Week, and offerings from the Perpetual Dawn Rosary or PDR every dawn. There is also a Holy Mass held twice a month, officiated by parish priest Reverend Father Odilon Odi Galamiton and assistant parish priest Reverend Father Crisanto Chris Hamo of San Isidro Labrador Parish. And on 2 Sundays, it is officiated by the alagad or lay minister. The renovation project began with an initial fund of 50,000 pesos, sourced from tithes, old savings, caroling proceeds, monthly Selda contributions, raffle ticket sales, and donations. Labor was largely offered through Pahina except for one lead carpenter. The construction committee, headed by Nestor Flores Sr., supervised the renovation closely, ensuring coordination with the parish priest. Through the people's generosity and God's providence, renovation continued with hope for its completion. Through the great grace from the Almighty, strengthened by the prayers and support of the people, the said chapel was completed and blessed by Most Reverend Jose Araneta Cabantan, D.D., on September 29, 2018, during the 60th celebration of the Feast of Saint Michael the Archangel. At this stage, the chapel community became well organized with 2 alagads, 5 catechists, a chapel president, a BSC coordinator, 7 zone leaders overseeing 21 BSC cells. The Sunday Eucharistic celebration was held twice a month, while the weekly Katilimbanong Pag-ampo remained a strong foundation of communal faith. On June 5, 2022, the first Sunday of June and the Solemnity of Pentecost, an important milestone took place. The Chancellor of the Diocese of Malaybalay, Reverend Father Alfred P. Delfino, celebrated the first Mass in the chapel and officially declared its elevation into a mission station. During the same celebration, it was announced that a newly formed San Miguel mission station would be entrusted to a designated administrator, marking the formal beginning of its pastoral life. On October 16, 2022, during the fiesta celebration of its mother parish, San Isidro Labrador Parish in Kaningilan, Bukidnon, Bishop Miguel issued and proclaimed a decree formally declaring the official elevation of San Miguel Mission Station, the first canonical step towards becoming a parish.
Decree of elevation to a mission station. Acting upon the petition sent to me by the chapel officers headed by Mr. Bienvenido A. Joromo as the chapel president, recommended and duly noted by Father Odilon Galamiton, the parish priest of Kaningilan, during the time of the evaluation process until May of 2022. And after mature consideration, deliberation, and recommendation by the evaluating team, headed by Father Demetrio G. Berondo, the Diocesan Pastoral Director, taking into consideration the good of the Church, and the salvation of souls. I, as Bishop of Malaybalay, decree the elevation of San Miguel Chapel, situated at Bukboc, Don Carlos, Bukidnon, to a mission station in accord with the diocesan norms and guidelines as the first step of erecting a quasi-parish or parish.
With its chapel compositions, San Isidro Labrador Chapel, Purok 8 Bukboc, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Francisco de Assisi Chapel, San Francisco, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Isidro Labrador Chapel, New Visayas, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Agustin Chapel, Kiara, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; Virgen de Lourdes Chapel, Purok 3, Kiara, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Isidro Labrador Chapel, Kawilihan, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Roque Chapel, Mauswagon, Don Carlos, Bukidnon; San Roque Chapel, Bagar, Baroy, Kadingilan, Bukidnon; Sacred Heart of Jesus Chapel, Baroy, Kadingilan, Bukidnon; San Lorenzo Ruiz Chapel, Kibatugon, Kadingilan, Bukidnon. On May 5, 2023, a benefit event titled Concert for a Cause was held at the Bukidnon Covered Court with support of the REIDs, the religious education students from Malaybalay. This major fundraising effort generated over 500,000 pesos, giving the mission station the financial boost needed to begin its long-awaited convent and office building project. With this success, the Pastoral Council, Finance Council, and Construction Committee began planning the construction. The community expressed deep gratitude to individuals who sacrificially supported this vision, including the late engineer Filomeno Borns Flores Jr., who devoted his life to the project. Construction head Mrs. Myrna Flores led the groundwork in fulfilling building requirements. On June 4, 2023, the mission station celebrated its first year anniversary. Bishop Noel Pedregosa presided over the Mass, confirmation rites, the blessing of the newly constructed comfort rooms, and the groundbreaking ceremony for the convent and office. Just 9 days later, on June 13, 2023, the construction officially began. The community tirelessly contributed through fundraising events, solicitation letters, zonal efforts, chapel contributions, donations, pledges, and tithing. As construction advanced, the administrator worked to strengthen the spiritual structure of the mission station. Highlights include formation of lay leaders, formation of youth and servers of the altar, creation of alagad and Eucharistic ministers, training new catechists with the help of Sister Virginia Muego, MCM, seminars on liturgy and lectors ministry supported by diocesan leaders, establishment of the family and life ministry. Through the help of dedicated priests and lay leaders, the mission station intensified its devotions, Sacred Heart and Immaculate Heart devotions, First Friday Masses, Tizay prayer, Holy Hour, benediction, and confession rituals. The World Apostolate of Fatima, promoting devotion to Mary. By the third year as a mission station, major physical progress was already visible. Construction that began in June 2023 was nearing completion. On June 9, 2024, the second Sunday of June, the community celebrated its second year anniversary. Bishop Noel presided over the blessing of the new convent and office, marking the realization of the community's labor, dedication, and faith. Months later, on September 8, 2024, the mission station celebrated the birthday of the Blessed Virgin Mary with the blessing of the newly beautified front yard and garden. Generous donors including the Abellanosa family and other benefactors, made this enhancement possible. San Miguel Mission Station was officially elevated to a quasi-parish on June 1, 2025, coinciding with its anniversary as a mission station. The solemn celebration was presided over by His Excellency, the Most Reverend Noel Portal Pedregosa, D.D., Bishop of the Diocese of Malaybalay. This elevation marked a significant milestone in the pastoral growth and maturity of the faithful community, recognizing its readiness for greater ecclesial responsibility and autonomy. The San Miguel Quasi-Parish is canonically elevated to the status of a parish on December 28, 2025, in conjunction with the Feast of the Holy Family, and on the same occasion, the parish church is solemnly dedicated. This historic celebration is presided over by His Excellency, the Most Reverend Noel P. Pedregosa, D.D. During this momentous event, Reverend Father Alfred P. Delfino is formally installed as the first parish priest of San Miguel Parish, entrusted with shepherding the faithful as the community enters a new chapter of ecclesial life and mission. From its humble beginnings as a small community gathered around a Koban chapel, through years of perseverance, growth, and shared sacrifice, San Miguel has journeyed faithfully under the guidance of God's providence. Its elevation from a chapel to a mission station and finally to a fully established parish stands as a living testimony to the steadfast faith of its people, the dedication of its leaders, and the pastoral care of the church. As San Miguel Parish now stands firmly rooted and fully elevated, it continues its mission of proclaiming the gospel, celebrating the sacraments, and forming a community of disciples entrusted to the intercession of Saint Michael the Archangel for the greater glory of God and the service of His people.